In this ancient cosmic framework, there are two distinct ways to acquire ultimate power. A person can endure brutal physical asceticism to forcefully extract power, or they can practice absolute unconditional devotion. King Ambarish defies the usual expectations of a spiritual master. He rules across 7 massive continents, controls massive armies, and possesses limitless wealth. Yet he is entirely detached from it. He dedicates his entire state treasury, his actions, and his mind completely to divine service. The Creator, the gods, and the greatest sages gathered to debate who held the highest spiritual rank between these two paths. This abstract scale shows how they weighed them. On one side, the fierce ascetic rigor of Sage Durvasa. On the other, the quiet devotion of King Ambarish. The scale firmly tips toward the king, declaring him the universe's greatest devotee. Durvasa hears this verdict, and his ego fractures. Driven by the insult that a mortal king outranks a forest-dwelling ascetic, he leaves the heavens and descends to earth. His single objective: humiliate the king and prove that his path of harsh discipline is strictly superior. This collision is a structural stress test of the universe's hierarchy. It forces a definitive answer to whether raw, forcefully earned power or pure, surrendered faith is the ultimate force. Ambarish is in a vulnerable position. He and his wife are at the very end of a brutal year-long fast. To successfully complete it, the final meal must be consumed with absolute precision. This timeline illustrates the paradox. Ambarish must break his fast before the window closes, shown by a shrinking green line. But law forbids eating before feeding a guest. Durvasa intentionally delays his return. The red blockade remains, running out the clock to force a sin. Ambarish consults his scholars and finds a microscopic loophole. He drinks a single drop of holy water from a small copper vessel, known in the scriptures as charanamrit. By religious text, this satisfies the astronomical rule to break the fast, while not counting as a full meal, keeping him compliant with guest rules. That single drop of water dismantles Durvasa's trap. It proves that rigid, ego-driven rules can be cleanly bypassed by someone operating with pure, calm intent. Durvasa returns and realizes he has been outsmarted by a technicality. The psychological manipulation fails, so he immediately pivots to physical violence. The enraged sage rips a thick lock of matted hair from his own head and violently hurls it to the dirt. From the ash, he summons the Kritya, an apocalyptic, fiery demoness designed to instantly incinerate the king. The demoness charges. King Ambarish does not draw a weapon. He doesn't brace for impact, and he doesn't take a single step backward. He stands perfectly still, folds his hands, and smiles. Ambarish can stand perfectly still because of the mechanics of his faith. He mentally surrendered his massive empire, his immense royal wealth, and his own physical body. He possessed 0 worldly attachments. You cannot threaten a man who has nothing left to lose, not even the fear of his own death. Durvasa requires violence and constant assertion to protect his identity as a powerful ascetic. King Ambarish relies entirely on absolute defenselessness. True surrender is a deliberate, impenetrable psychological armor. It neutralizes the very concept of fear. Because the king refused to lift a finger to defend himself, the universe triggers its ultimate automatic countermeasure. The Sudarshana Chakra, the supreme divine weapon, spontaneously manifests, cutting a brilliantly glowing, spinning disk of jagged light from the shadows. In a fraction of a second, the glowing disk incinerates the demoness, neutralizing Durvasa's attack completely. The chakra immediately identifies Durvasa as the source of the threat and locks onto him. The universe's most terrifying ascetic is suddenly forced to abandon his aggressive posture, turn on his heels, and desperately run for his life. This stylized map of the cosmic realms tracks Durvasa's frantic flight. He blasts upward from Earth, desperately seeking asylum in the highest realms. He begs the Creator, Brahma, and the Destroyer, Shiva, for protection. Both supreme gods refuse him. They explain a strict cosmic law. When a divine weapon deploys specifically to protect an innocent, surrendered devotee, it overrides all other authority in the universe. The most feared man alive is reduced to a helpless fugitive. aggressive, ego-driven power eventually collides with a force it cannot intimidate. Exhausted, burning, and out of options, Durvasa collapses at the feet of Lord Vishnu, the supreme deity and the actual commander of the chakra. Vishnu delivers a massive paradox to the desperate sage. The supreme commander of the universe explicitly states that he is not independent. He is entirely bound and controlled by the love of his devotees. Vishnu hands down the final verdict. He cannot call off the weapon. The only way Durvasa will survive is if he swallows his pride, returns to Earth, and begs for his life from the exact mortal he just tried to assassinate. Durvasa returns and throws himself at the king's feet. Ambarish is horrified to see an elderly sage bowing to him. The king instantly begins praying to the spinning weapon, offering up every ounce of his own life's spiritual merit to save his attacker. The chakra finally retreats. It doesn't power down because it was defeated by a stronger force, but because the victim's extreme act of compassion completely neutralized the ideological imbalance. Centuries of harsh discipline mean absolutely nothing without humility. True cosmic power is never measured by the wrath you can unleash, but by the ego you are willing to surrender.